I never imagined that a single moment in the bedroom could completely shatter my life, but here I am. My name is Mark. I'm 36 years old, and until a week ago, I thought my marriage was solid. My wife, Lisa, and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5, and I honestly believed we had a relationship built on trust, humor, and mutual respect. I thought I knew her better than anyone else. I thought I could forgive almost anything, that love would always find a way. Turns out I was wrong. Dead wrong. It started as an ordinary evening. We had spent the day running errands, laughing over stupid things, and cooking dinner together. Everything seemed normal, happy, comfortable, familiar. After dinner, we retired to the bedroom, the same routine we'd followed for years. I felt relaxed, confident, in the moment, trusting her implicitly. And then it happened. I was holding her close, kissing her, when she whispered my name, and it wasn't mine. "Eric," she said softly, almost casually, in a way that made it seem like it was no big deal. I froze. The world seemed to pause around me. My heart skipped a beat, my chest tightened, and the blood in my veins turned icy. I looked at her, thinking maybe I had heard wrong. Maybe my mind was playing tricks. "Excuse me?" I asked, my voice calm but my stomach in knots. Lisa laughed, lightly, brushing it off like it was nothing. "Oh Mark, come on. It just happens," she said, shrugging as though saying your husband's name incorrectly was a completely normal mistake. My hands dropped to my sides. My calm demeanor felt like it was cracking under the weight of disbelief and hurt. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't something minor I could let slide. She had just said another man's name in a moment of intimacy and then tried to dismiss it like it was accidental, casual, insignificant. I tried to reason with myself for a fraction of a second. Maybe she was tired, maybe it was a slip of the tongue. Maybe it really was nothing. But deep down I knew. I knew in my bones that this was more than a simple mistake. This wasn't just a random name. This was history. This was a hint at what she had been thinking, at who had been in her head when she wasn't supposed to be thinking of anyone but me. The room felt suddenly smaller, suffocating. I stepped back and looked at her. She was smiling, her eyes bright, as though nothing had changed, as though nothing had been said that would hurt me. But everything had changed. I asked her again, trying to keep my voice steady, "Lisa, you just called me by your ex's name. In bed. You meant it, right?" She rolled her eyes, dismissing me again. "Mark, relax. It's just a word. Really, it happens. Stop overthinking everything." Overthinking? Really? This was overthinking? This was betrayal, plain and simple. She didn't get it. She couldn't see the magnitude of what she had just done. She thought it was harmless, a fleeting moment, but for me it was the ultimate disrespect. It was the line you don't cross. The boundary that cannot be ignored. I swallowed the lump in my throat and tried to breathe. I wanted to say something clever, something that would make her see the reality of her actions. But words felt heavy, impossible to form. Instead, I did the only thing I could do. The only action that reflected the truth of how I felt. "Lisa, get out," I said, my voice quiet but firm, no trembling, no begging. She froze, her smile faltering. "What? Get out," I repeated. "I can't. I won't sit here and pretend this doesn't matter. You just crossed a line. There's no excuse, no joke, no accident that can undo this. Leave." For a moment, she seemed incredulous, like I was overreacting. She tried to protest, tried to make it sound silly, to downplay it with a laugh. "Mark, it's just a word, it doesn't mean anything. You're blowing this out of proportion." I shook my head, disbelief mixing with a cold fury I hadn't felt before. "No, Lisa. You don't get to choose what it means after the fact. The meaning is clear. You called me by your ex's name. In bed. And you said it happens. You have no respect for me right now, and frankly I'm done. Get out." She hesitated, trying one last time. "Please, Mark, let's talk about it." I didn't. I couldn't. Years of subtle disrespect, of little comments she made, little dismissals, tiny slights I had tried to ignore, came flooding back in a heartbeat. Every time she belittled me in front of friends, laughed at my mistakes, compared me subtly to someone else, it all made sense now. This wasn't an isolated incident. This was the culmination. This was the line crossed too many times. I opened the bedroom door, grabbed her bag from the corner of the room and handed it to her. "You've got 10 minutes to get your things," I said, my voice steady. "After that, I want you out. I can't live in a house where I'm considered a joke, a placeholder, or worse, forgotten in a moment that matters most." Her eyes widened. She didn't say a word. She just took her bag, lingering for a moment as if expecting some mercy that wouldn't come. And when I didn't give it, she left the room. The house was suddenly quiet. Too quiet. It felt like the walls themselves were breathing, as though they understood the shift in power, the finality of what had just happened. I sat on the edge of the bed, hands in my lap, staring at the floor, trying to reconcile the woman I thought I knew with the person who just called me by another man's name in the most intimate moment of our life. A week has passed since that night. Lisa hasn't returned. She hasn't called, texted, or tried to explain further. And I haven't reached out. Because I know this: some lines once crossed cannot be uncrossed. Some betrayals, once realized, cannot be forgiven lightly. I loved her, yes, but love without respect is hollow. Love without boundaries is dangerous. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe she will return, maybe she won't. But I do know one thing for certain. I've regained control over my life, my self-respect, and my peace. I refuse to stay in a place where I'm undervalued, disrespected, and mocked. And that's a choice that no apology can undo. I'm sitting here now thinking about the man I used to be, forgiving, patient, trusting, and I realize that those traits aren't weaknesses. They're strengths, but only when met with equal respect. And if respect is absent, strength becomes survival. And that's what I chose.